welcome to the final video of 2024. Now, I know what you're thinking, and no, this is not me saying that I'm going to be quitting YouTube. I am taking a break from time to time on, but honestly, I'm going to have to need it, mostly due to a lot of things. But let's talk about my channel recap, though. This will be lengthy, so bear with that if you want to stick around, though. Back in May of 2023, I started doing YouTube short videos. In that point of time, though, I was mostly going to do, YouTube drawing videos. But honestly, I decided against them mostly for one thing. I'm not a good artist. I know a lot of people do like my artwork, although I did delete a lot of those videos, and it also had to do with the Madeline Hatter situation on the hand, though. By the way, in case you guys are going to ask me about the Madeline Hatter situation, don't worry. I'm fully aware of what's going on. One of my closest friends, she's actually giving me posts and updates, and I am commenting on what I think about it, though. So keep your eh, head on that, though. But ironically enough, though, after doing those drawings, though, I didn't really have that much to add, though. I mean, the only drawings I did were mostly on no Flamingo Writer, which looks like a piece of shit to me, I'm not gonna lie. And there were some others, like, say, for example, my other stuff that I've done. If it wasn't obvious, though, my YouTube short videos were mostly on the artworks, like the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Laboratory. I thought at first my drawings would actually get me somewhere, though, but honestly, looking back on them, I'm just gonna say this right here and now. I really need to improve on my art. A lot of people do like them, don't get me wrong, but they're just not really getting me anywhere. Plus, the drawing that I did on camera would have to be that Powerpuff Girls drawing, which I am grateful that it actually got me a lot of places, though. Hell, even a lot of people started liking that drawing over a lot of other drawings I've done, which I am grateful for. It's actually one of the reasons why I want to do my channel with that. But back in September of 2023, I actually had to go through, shall we say, more breaks than I thought I would have, though. After doing Flamingo portrait, though, which took me. Well, I didn't really do that artwork in one hand, though. I actually did it back in July of 2021, if I'm being honest. And honestly, though, I only had it in a portrait to show you guys, though, and that's where I started getting my YouTube career going as time went on, though. The only difference is that I only did mostly the drawings that I had, though. Like, I had really the OC that was created by Ever After Queen, which I am grateful that she actually upgraded my art. And as you can tell from the OC I use, even from the time I started making these videos, you can definitely tell that she is a very passionate artist. And I didn't think I would do the most get the most votes out of any of these here people. Though I am grateful for participating, and guess what? It made me have friends along the way. Granted, there were some other artworks I've done, like the one with Smurfette in my YouTube shorts, as well as my Rainbow Academy picture with mostly the royals in there. I was originally going to do other characters, like the immortal characters for my own series of writing, but honestly, I'm not sure when that'll be out. Plus, I don't even know if I'm ever going to do it because, let's be honest, my art sucks ass. And then there was also, before I did full length videos, I also did things about Madeline Hatter when she had her channel. Madeline Hatter, or about how disappointed I was, which got that's almost the same amount as the Powerpuff Girls drawing video. And there was also the other one where I left a long ass comment on how disappointed I was even further, though. But honestly, I'm surprised that a lot of people started seeing more. Even when I did a fan art for, I could have done it better. I wasn't in a good headspace at that time, though. Plus, in January of 2024, the beginning of a new year, was not very good, though. I had a family member who was going through something, and honestly, his. Plus, I also did some other things, though, like, say, for example, in February of 2020, if for the it was the last video, though. In case it wasn't obvious, I don't really do a lot of artworks, though. I am grateful people do like my artwork, though, but personally I think it could have been more improved, though. Plus, I only do it on my phone, and I don't have any other device to do it on. I could do it on my laptop, but being as jacked as shit at times, though, I'm not gonna do that. Especially because of the stress I'm going through when it comes to that, though. But onto the videos I have done. This was actually not what I was expecting to do, though. I wasn't expecting anyone to come did a full length video. Well, it's mostly my audio and a black screen, so if you want to check that out, you can if you want to. But still, here we are. And there's also the fact that I did the Madeline Hatter situation, which I a collaboration with Techno the day after that. Well, I say day, but it's more like the night I did though, before he nuked his entire channel. And yes, I will get Techno in a bit though, what I thought about that. But honestly, I am grateful for that. At the time, however, I did two other videos, live stream videos was Flamingo's writings. And don't worry, I will get into why I haven't done them so far, though. But even with that said, however, that's where I started realizing I could use my live stream videos and other certain videos for a StreamYard. And you know what? It was worth it. I wasn't expecting myself to do more than I thought I would have, though. And honestly, when it comes right down to it, though, I wasn't expecting myself to do more and more as time went on, though. So around that time, though, I started doing other videos, like the Madeline Hatter video, though. Not the one with the black screen, but the one with the StreamYard watermark. By the way, if anyone's going to ask why I can't get rid of the watermark or anything like that, I don't know how to upgrade it. And plus, I don't have a card with me and everything, though. So if you're wondering why I have to do it, yeah, it's just like this on the a format like this is why. I'm not expecting my videos to be high art or high quality or anything, but honestly, that's really what it is, though. After that, however, around that time, though, I did a video around techno, which is aged like sour milk because, well, again, we'll get to that. But honestly, I only did that video because of dedication for what he's done, though. And I have to be honest, though, if it wasn't for him, though, even though I don't want to admit it, I probably wouldn't have done those videos, though. But my real motivation has to go with Mishia and The Hero of Tomorrow because both of them really influenced me to do videos to begin with. So for any of those to watching, although I think it's going to be Mashia more. I still think that she really encouraged me to do videos a lot more than I thought would have, though. I would tell you more about what's been going on with these here videos, but let's get on to it. Though, if anything to judge by, around the same time, I actually wanted to make other videos. In this case, I had looked at more take-ons. Yeah, the take-ons themselves were pretty much my popularity for my own channel, which I wasn't expecting at the time, though. I thought at first, and furthermore, I did state that I'm not going to do them anymore. But surprisingly enough, the take-on that did get the most popular out of the videos for those take-on series would have to be Star Giant Productions. And I think I had fun doing it, but honestly, if I had to change one thing, it would have to be so because I said Maddie instead of Madeline. Fuck me, I'm not good at editing. Maddie though, Maddie Abraham, the former artist for Rebecca. I have to be honest though, he is actually a fine guy when I followed him on Instagram and saw his artworks though. And honestly, this is one aspect where I think that's where my channel started growing from there on though. From there, I started doing other videos, like for the literary podcast, which I'll get to later as well though. And there was also the channel trailer, which, if anything, I wasn't expecting myself to do a channel trailer at the time, but I wanted to do it so I can at least get my videos out there to see if anyone wants to see anything new with that. That said, however, I did create other sorts of videos, like the Dark Flamingo writings, though. Again, these are going to be what I'm going to do with my channel, what they're going to do with them, and furthermore, they're going to leave more what could spin, though. But after that, after several take-ons, as long as a quick announcement, which, yeah, I'm no longer going to be doing take-ons if it wasn't obvious already, though. So that's what I have to say, though. Although I did do others, as I'll be frank, I didn't really like how it was crying in front of you guys. In fact, I don't want to cry in any of my videos, especially because of how much hell I had to go through that he shared to them because the channel is no longer up. I'm not gonna say what happened though because it people think I'm saying wrong information. So I'm not gonna say anything like that. After that, though, after going back to the take on set for a while. This is what made me want to do my channel to begin with, because in case it wasn't obvious, I'm a huge Magical Girl fan. Even to this day, I still call myself a Magical Girl fan, with a lot of Magical Girl shows I've watched, and I talk about what could be your interest, though. Though, if you want to see that podcast for yourself, though, I will say what I will be doing with the your said episodes. So you can look forward to that if you want to in the future. Then after that, I did an addressing to the mill situation, which I'm not going to say that much of it, though, due to the fact that talking about how a kid didn't like my artwork, even though I've planned as much as hell, though. And I also did a channel banner for her, though. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I don't do channel banners or any artwork for anybody, because every time I do, I get them fucking rejected most of the time. And yeah, I'm not trying to be snappy, but that's what it is, though. I did do a reaction video, which would be fine if it weren't for the fact my audio was going through fucking and glitches. And what's more, it was also due to the fact that I had a lot of echo effect with the video. This was before I got my headphones, guys. So if you have anyone to blame, blame me, not the video itself. I couldn't really do much about it, though. I wanted to do a showing how Rebecca Starlight or Sergeant Productions. Yeah, that coward's still hiding. What the hell not? And honestly, wanted to read up on what was going on, though. I did do other videos aside from that, like more podcast episodes, but the one video that I was surprised to see for myself that actually got Genta video. I did not expect myself to get this video out there to be popular in the 2 months passing by, though. But honestly, looking at it, I can definitely say I did what I did, though. Though there was one thing I have to say about the video that I didn't like. For one thing, I didn't really like the fact that I was actually talking about how I wanted to do Cho's Band Together 2001 or Inside Out Fan 2001. You know what? I'm not going to go over what his former channel names were, because if we were, we'd be here all day. So I'm just going to say I'm going against my opinion on how I'm going to think about, and I'm just going to say this right here and now. I'm not doing a video on him, mostly because other people have already talked about him. Down to it, I did do a live stream with Giratina, my first collaboration with Giratina. And yes, I know I did a Q&A video last. There weren't a lot of people who were asking me a lot of questions as it is, though. Though if I ever did do a Q&A video, it won't be for a very long time, though. So if you're wondering about when it'll come out, you can definitely bet that's really something to go by. Then after that, I took a look at something that I wanted to share to you guys, my Rainbow Academy podcast. This was admittedly a podcast that I've wanted to do for my writings, but honestly, when it comes to it, I would have done the third one if it weren't for the fact my schedule kept fumbling up. Again, I hate it when my videos get fumbled up, especially with the schedules every now and then. It's either due to something that's happening with my family or something along the lines of working at times, though. So you can definitely bet why it's hard for me to do these videos entirely, though. Could have been known alike, even more so than you may realize than what could have been. And after that, however, I did do other reviews out there, like my Shojo and Josei reviews of anime that I still love to this day. Pataliro and Pet Shop of Horrors, both of which are still being my fixations to this day. But honestly, I really needed to do those anyway because, like I said before, the take ons are what got me stressed out to begin with. So, with all that said, however, that's really the full recap of what's been happening to my channel so far, though. So, without further ado, let's talk about where this channel is headed. And honestly, I want to talk about the things I'll be doing with my channel from now on. So, let's get started. In case it wasn't obvious from you guys, I did say in the last video with Bella the Wolf, but I'm gonna be more. You've noticed I only did 20 episodes, which took up most of what I had in store though for this channel. Well, that's because believe it or not, I thought at first it would be a niche to do, mostly because but after looking back on it, well, parts of it have to do with me necessarily. I'll give a little bit more credit to, let's say, the person, or in this case, the people who requested these. So if you think I'm mad that you guys gave me these requests, I'm not. In fact, I'm grateful that people gave me these requests to begin with when it comes to these year take-ons. The only downside of that, however, is how much fucking headaches it had to go through, though. I had to go through research after research after research to find out what to say about these users. And truth be told, I wasn't expecting myself to do a lot of them, though. A lot of them did give me more to say, but there's something about them that's just made me rub the wrong way. Some of these videos, if I'm being completely honest, didn't really let me do more as time went on, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for people who gave me these zero ideas, and some of them were handed by myself, though, because I wanted to talk about what I think about them. But the more I look into it, though, the more I start realizing that this is one playlist that I think you guys can watch for yourself if you want me to give my thoughts on them. Just so you know, there's not going to be every user out there that's going to be on that playlist because, again, the drama really got to me. And that's another thing, too. See, in case you guys can't tell, I go through a lot of stress and anxiety. It's not exactly a good sign when you realize mental health is something you have to check up on. Even when it comes to videos like this that give you a migraine of its own right, though. With the exception of some of them that did give me a lot to say, though, there are some that actually got me a little bit paranoid to do. Like the Lyle Convoy video or the Hopeless Peaches video. Some people I have a feeling are just gonna think I'm blindly going out of my way to defend these two, but just so you know, though, I'm not here to tell you what I think about them now. I will tell you the latter of which is worse, like say Hopeless Peaches, because of what though. Plus, even if I did though, what's the point? It's really gone to the point where it's losing my sanity. Lyle Convoy, however, I did hear he is getting better, while others say they don't think he is. So I'm just gonna leave my toes away from those eggshells, if anything. Hey, don't look at me. Those eggshells are cracking like hell. And it's pretty obvious that I don't want to deal with this drama anymore. Before you say anything, I know for a fact there are some people out there who want me to do more take-ons. But here's the thing. My health is anything to judge by. I do apologize in advance for not being able to do it, though. I'm sure there are several people out there who'll talk about the drama, like Harley TBS, Lazy Beth. Let me tell you this right here and now. I can't for a long time, but I will say when it comes to the retirement I'm doing on these year take-ons, that's why. I don't even like doing this to my audience because I know that there are some people out there that want me to do these take-ons more. But I'm not gonna do them anymore. So if you guys are upset that I can't do these take-ons because of my mental health, I'm sorry, but my mental health has to come first before anything. Now, with all that said, let's go on to the other things I want to talk about. For example, the YouTube Shorts. The YouTube Shorts were what really got me started to begin with. And you're probably asking yourself, will I do more drawing videos or maybe sometimes haul videos? Happen in that video. I'm, I'm gonna say this right here and now. When I did my first haul video, my birthday haul video, I got it taken down due to copyright. I don't know why it got taken down because I mostly just used my voice, and what's more, I did it at work last year. But other than that, though, I can't really say why it got copyrighted because it's just my voice and showing you what I got. Plus, they weren't even that good to begin with because I had my voice to, and it turned to the point where I had to stay quiet because I was babysitting at the time. And yes, that is my part-time job still. And what's more, I didn't really have that much of a choice but to show what I got. But I didn't really do long-term videos as much as I wanted to because again, I want to do something that's not showing my hands on screen, and thus I don't like showing myself on camera. In case it wasn't obvious, I can be pretty awkward and shy at times. So if you're wondering why I face on camera, there's your reason. And I don't want to show my face ever, period, because I'll be frank, I don't want anyone knowing what I look like. I mean, you could argue that the OC may be something like that, but I'm not going to go into further detail with that. The YouTube Shorts, however, while I admit a lot of them did put my heart and effort into them, though, I'm just gonna say this right here and now. I don't really think it's a safe bet to say that I don't think either of us were expecting that anyways, though. Plus, I don't even want to say that these YouTube Shorts were anything good anyways, though. I mean, people can say to me all they want they were proud of me doing these here videos, but I was actually just struggling to find my identity. And I didn't even know what to say about these here YouTube short videos because it was just my artwork. Plus, the green screen effect is pretty terrible on my end, if it wasn't obvious from looking at them. But that's all I have to say about the YouTube shorts. So if I ever did do a piece of artwork, maybe I can do it. But I really have to say the only reason why I did those artworks to begin with is mostly due to one thing. Because I didn't have a community tab at the time. I didn't have a community tab until March of this year, 2024. So if you're wondering why I didn't do those sharing artworks or comments or anything on the community tab that time, that's why. So on with the next topic I'll be getting into. As you can tell from there, though, I was going to create something called Flamingo's Literary Podcast. If you're new to my channel and wondering what this is, it's basically where I take a look at any kind of literature project out there. Basically, do whatever I can in order to show that I love doing things that are literature. If it wasn't obvious from my obvious title of my channel, or my moniker, or whatever you want to call it, though, I call myself Flamingo Writer because, again, I love writing. And writing has always been my pretty really rough to say, but I can't help it. But it's also pretty obvious looking at these here literary podcasts. I haven't really gotten that much to start out with. Plus, it was the first podcast I've ever done, and what's more, this podcast, like, show you guys what's it like to write, or what kind of literature is out there for anyone to explore and experience for themselves, if anything. I mean, yeah, it is a really hard, tough lesson to go by, but honestly, even if I did, though, I wouldn't know where else to say it, though. The literary podcast will have another when it'll be. Again, my mental health is more important than just doing videos crazily all the time, though. I do hate disappointing my audience like that, but that's what happens when you like that. And speaking of podcasts, we might as well talk about the other two podcast series, shall we? The Rainbow Academy podcast is one that, if anything, I only did 2 out of the 3 episodes. If you've been around me for a while, and if you haven't seen, in October, but I only did 2 episodes in the liking. This is most 3 episodes. I haven't really gone after something happened in my told I do, but it's also due to the fact that I want to do something for my birthday. As well, because I was born in October, and went so for a change. Not to say that you can't do anything for everyone else. I mean, are you kidding me? You can do pretty much whatever you can out of your own self to do whatever. But I'm just gonna say this right here and now, though. It's really gone to the point where it's obvious that there are several users out there who will ask me to do another one of these here videos. But it's pretty much what I have to say. The Rainbow Academy podcast is, if anything, my passion writing series. I wanted to share my writings, though, but I also want to say that's probably going to be the first and only complete one I'll have. So when I'm done with the other episodes, when I get the chance of doing them, I want to create 10 episodes for that, but I'm still thinking of the other 7. If you can think of something, you guys, don't be afraid to let me know. But I'm just going to say I have to be careful of what I'm doing with my mental health. And now on to the last podcast series. The last podcast series that got me into wanting to do my channel to begin with, if you haven't paid attention so far, would have to be my Flamingo's Magical Girl podcast. I have to say right here and now, this was also my biggest niche out there. If it wasn't obvious, though, from how much I really love thanking Mashia, I still do thank her a lot, though. Plus, even with that said, I want to do something nice for her birthday, for an honor of dedication of how much I do feel the wish of need to do so already. If it wasn't for her, or along with your podcast, I probably wouldn't have been here this far, though. I mean, the Magical Girl podcast won't have an expiration date. I really can't tell because there are several Magical Girl shows I'm currently watching, but right now I'm watching one to dedicate to Mashia, so that's not going to be out until January 12th. Yeah, that would probably be my first video of 2025, if anything, though. Plus, even with that said, however, I can't really stress enough how much I really want to get my video out there, though. I know it's like the 13th, and it's going to be like, close to a month I'll be absent. But if I ever do a community post and keep you guys updated, I'll let you guys know. But the Magical Girl podcast, going back to it, I have to be honest. This is the most popular podcast on my channel. I didn't expect myself to gravitate on faster than I thought it would have. Plus, the time of writing this, I'll have 15 episodes for anyone to watch them if you want to, though. And if anything, there's plenty of episodes to watch on there, though. Like, even some that I wasn't expecting myself to get into. But I think the more I watched these Magical Girl shows, I started realizing they really have gotten me into doing more of my writing more than I thought it would have, though. Like, if it wasn't obvious from how much I gush over in the Rainbow Academy video, I still said that Magical Girl shows are one of, if not my favorite genre out there. And I still stand by that. I love seeing Magical Girl shows. Yeah, call me a woman, child. I don't really care. But I don't really know what else to say. So let's talk about the other things that I want to get into. The Flamingo's writings was one of his entire channel. I would let you guys know that he had a series called Technical Errors. And as I said before, I did collaborate with him in one of those videos. Now, I'm kind of disappointed about myself being on there because I did show my face, which wasn't intended because I was really late to the party when I was going to that video. And I also was with AfrofishOG at the time. Which, honestly, if you are into video games or any of the reaction videos or anything, he's an amazing way of doing it. I don't watch his videos every day, per se, because I mostly like to listen to my music or watch other stuff that I have to catch up on. But I really have to say, though, he's a pretty awesome dude. I talked to him on TikTok a few times, and he seems like a pretty awesome guy. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit, it did get me. He also motivated me into doing videos too, as well. Like he said, if you want to do videos, Flamingo, go right ahead. You shouldn't be afraid to do it. And it's thanks to him that also motivated me, aside from Mashia, and also from the inspiration of the Hero of Tomorrow, what got me into doing those reviews. And I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for them, though. But even with that said, however, though, I really think it's safe to say while he does have a lot more videos than me and other stuff like that, I'm gonna say right off the bat, I'm not expecting myself to be all grandiose or anything like that. Whatever I could for those videos to begin with, though. But the writing, Flamingo's writings, back to what I was saying there. I'm sorry for going off. Put in those episodes. Plus, even if I did do those episodes, it would take me a while to find out what to also had the chance that I have to say this right here and now. The second episode did have more people, but I think what got me having more people would have to be the ones that are off topic. Man, the more I think about it, the more I feel like it seems like a lot of people love those. But even with that said, however, I will do other live stream videos. I just don't know when. Oh, and by the way, speaking of which, though, can I just say for the record, if anyone's going to ask if they want to be mods or anything like that, please don't tell me you want to be a mod or don't ask about it right away, because quite honestly, there was one person who wanted to be a mod, and all she did was roleplay in it. No names or anything, but I'm just saying that if you want to be a mod, that's not what being a mod is about. Isn't being a mod supposed to be someone who moderates the comments or anyone who does spam or anything? I'm just saying no. I don't like it when people have to use my comment section just to do so. That was one pet I had with the video I was doing with the Be Better Today Than Yesterday reaction video. Someone was basically using that as roleplay because they want to say they're in pain and they're also going through, I'm not going to say what it is though, but even with that said, if you didn't want to be in the live stream to begin with and just say you want to be a mod because you want to roleplay, that's not what being roleplay is about. It's about like I said, for the mod, you have to take responsibility to make sure no one in the comments is spamming or anything. If you're not gonna do the job, then don't ask about it. I'm not saying this to be mean, guys. I'm just saying this because I can't stand it when people say they want to be something on my channel and yet they don't do their job anyways in spite of all that. But with all that said, however, out of that little short tangent I had with that though, let's talk about some other stuff I want to get into on my channel. The Dark Flamingo's writings, I'm gonna be upfront and say this. This is me just doing something to get my thoughts on any bad show or movie. Mostly TV shows because other things, because movies take a while to get to. Plus, even if I did do so already, I would tell you I would do a review of it, but anyone who's seen my Dark Flamingo's first episode on the Dark Flamingo's writings videos, you may have noticed I only talked about Ren and Stimpy and only showed you a picture along with my audio and commentary. Well, that's because I wanted to show clips, but the problem with it is because YouTube wanted to take it down due to copyright. Yeah, YouTube really fucking hates me. It's no surprise. But it's pretty obvious, though, that I really wanted to do something like that because I wanted to talk about shows that were either bad or something that needs to be improved on or anything like that. I only talked about 3 bad shows as the top of my list can talk about so far. Now, one of them wasn't really a Dark Flamingo's writing. It was more like a Magical Girl podcast episode, although I did state in a poll if it should be a Magical Girl podcast or a Dark Flamingo's writings. Though thankfully the people who voted did say it should be on Magical Girl podcast. So here are the shows I did talk about. The shows I talked about were Ren and Stimpy Adult Party Cartoon and Velma, which were for the Dark Flamingo's writings, and for the Magical Girl podcast that had the worst of them all, if I'm being honest, would have to be High Guardian Spice. This would be the part where I would tell you about my history with those shows, but that's for another day. And when it comes right down to it, though, I wasn't expecting myself to talk about shows that I didn't care for when it comes right down to it, though. I know some people are thinking that maybe it's time to let all of it go, though, but I'm not gonna let the Magical girl podcast to die out anytime soon. And for the Dark Flamingo's writings, I'm just gonna say this right here and now. I don't want anyone requesting me any shows right there because again, I don't unless if they want to just try to inform me what kind of show if if it's bad or if it's good or anything like that. But if it's a show that's really completely bad that everyone else says it's bad, I'll take a look at it. So something like, say, a show that's polarized, I'm not gonna take a look at it unless I have something to say about it. I mean, this is what I mean when I say if I were a critic, I know some people are gonna jump at my throat and say, no, I guess you could make the song like guess people have reasons. But honestly, only what I have to say about the Dark Flamingo's writings. So if I ever do a bad show, I'll let you guys know what kind of show it is though. Though again, I don't know when exactly that'll be. If anything, it's gonna take a while to get to, so that's all to it. But speaking of shows, however, now I know Colleen of manga or whatever her channel's name is called. She actually does talk about Shojo and Josei. I want to talk about Shojo and Josei for myself on my channel because if it wasn't obvious, I'm part of the female demographic. Both for the Shojo and the Josei are girling like crazy in my mind. But the reason why I want to cover those in particular is because if it wasn't obvious from the Pazzolero video and the video with the Halloween themed video such as Pet Shop of Horrors, the reason why I wanted to talk about those in particular is due to one thing. I want to talk about stuff that I like, damn it. Outside of the Magical Girl podcast, I want to talk about something from the Shojo and Josei related, which will be called Flamingo's reviews, if anything. Not just in stuff that have something to Shojo and Josei, I'd like say for anime specifically, but in other stuff that may be for girls and women to enjoy. Though it'd probably be likely to be in a different category, if anything, though. Now, when it comes to the Pazzolero video, I did say I had issues with that video. That reason being, I didn't get my headphones until much later. You may have noticed that the audio in that video was jacked up as shit, and again, go back to what I said. It's my fault for letting a lot of this slide, and what's more, the audio itself was really terrible. The audio was bad, the video itself was pretty long. I wish I wanted to make long because I wanted to tell you how much I loved Pazzolero and why no one else has talked about it. But it's also due to the fact that I had no other choice but to do that video right from the start. But it's also pretty clear that the video itself was a fucking hell of a mess to do. Not just because I want to talk about a series that, and for spite of all that, I wasn't a fan of the Shonen Ai demographic. And don't leave homophobic comments, please. I'm not homophobic. If I was, I wouldn't be with my girlfriend right now, despite being bi and she's pan, but you get what I mean. I'm trying to say, though, is that I'm not trying to say that I don't like something that everyone else has enjoyed. I can still like something that usually isn't my genre, and all of that said, however, it can still leave me thirsty for more if I want to, though. The only problem I have with it, though, is that aside from the audio and the voice cracks here and there, it's mostly due to the fact that I was in a bad space when doing it. See, I'm going to start that video right from the start of October, the Pazzolero video specifically, and yet I say try again, and I don't want to do anything like say start all over from scratch, because if I did that, I'm gonna have to, because I started watching it in March though. But let me just say this for the record. I know if this is kind of going off topic, if you can call it that, but I'm just gonna say this right here and now. The reason why I want to cover Shojo then, I didn't really have that much interest into saying what I had to say, and what's more, I couldn't get my channel out there anyways though. Back in 2022, if you remember, history in 2022 was awful. I know it was a good year for a lot of people, but for me personally, it was not a good year. Every time I tried watching something that was for something that was Shojo or Josei, I would get hell from my pops when he was still alive at the time. Plus, even if I did start when I was younger, I would still get spotted on at times, though. Yeah, I know that seems pretty much what it is. Shojo and Josei, while this year was an up and down roller coaster for me this year, I still think there was a lot that need to be said, though. Like, for I don't think it's safe to say that when it comes to my own beef with my Shojo and Josei demographic, I have to be completely honest. The only time I ever did so far is to do this. See, in case it wasn't obvious, though, I'm part of that demographic itself, though. Though, admittedly, in Shojo and Josei, there were some I watched in 2022 and a few times before that, but I didn't really get into it until 2020, back when and I was still going into my anime fixation phase. And before you ask, yes, I am fixated about anime. Why am I not surprised? But it's also pretty clear that around 2015, my intro to it was really Sailor Moon, no shock. And my starting journey would have to be 2020 when I started watching Ouran High School Host Club. I'll probably put a history about my Shojo and Josei history list one of these days, but I can't be exactly certain when it'll come out. Again, go back to what I was saying before. My mental health has to be checked up on at times. And it's pretty clear to me, while I don't like what happened a lot of the time this year, especially because I'm thinking of my pops every now and then, I have to be honest, I did get to watch a certain amount of Shojo and Josei, though. If it wasn't for the fact that around, say, March, like late March or early April, I wouldn't have gotten more into more Shojo than I thought I would have, though. Though my journey more started when I was starting to finish up Revolutionary Girl Utena and Ojama Jodoremi, to be honest, though. And before you ask, the latter of which I haven't finished. I actually have finished Utena, just not as much as Ojama Jodoremi. Though I did talk about it in a podcast video of what I did see of it, so go ahead and check that out if you want to, though. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I saw a handful of stuff that were more for girls and women that I could ever handle. And I don't know, I do plan on talking about other stuff, though. Well, let's get on to that. If I ever do a channel up, or something like this, though, it's probably going to be an end of the year video. But another thing I want to get into, though, would have to be other topics, like, say, my topic on writings, or something like, say, what am I fixated over, though. Those are gonna probably be other reviews, like, say, movie talkabouts or TV shows that I'm fixated over, but I can't be exactly what to call them, though. The only possible I can call them is Flamingo's Reviews, which, yeah, as much as it sounds like a cheeky title because everyone puts the reviews in their title when they want to, I don't really think that's me saying that's a bad idea, though. I mean, I will talk about other stuff on my channel, like, say, something that's not anime related, or maybe something that is anime related that's part of the shonen and seinen. I can't really be certain, though, because I want to talk about stuff that almost nobody has talked about. Like, I would say I would talk about JoJo, even though Part 7 still hasn't come out yet. Damn it! But I really want to say, yeah, I don't want to focus on too much at a time, because if I did, chances are it's gonna leave everyone wondering. And for that reason, among many others, I do appreciate what I had in store, though. So for all that said, though, I do hope to do other stuff on my channel, though, even if it did leave me wondering what am I gonna do next. But even with all that said, however, I am grateful of what I've been doing so far with my channel. I didn't expect myself to make it this far. I mean, if it wasn't for the support and love I got from you guys, I probably wouldn't have made it this far to begin with. And I am grateful to have all of you support my channel this far. And I'm glad I've made friends along the way, though. Now, this is not me saying goodbye forever. Goodbye is never forever, as someone said before me. But what I am saying to you guys is that I'm not saying that you can't check up on how I'm doing or anything like that. If you want to keep me updated, or if you want to see how you're all doing, though, there will be links, though, where I do have my ways of getting followed on. You can follow me on other platforms as well, aside from YouTube. I go on Webpad when I have the chance, which I haven't gone so far though, because reasons. And there's also Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. You can follow those if you want to, though. But just so you know, I'm gonna have a long time absence from my channel, though. Yeah, and I don't like saying this, but let's talk about the conclusion to this before we wrap up. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, while I do admit I do like doing these videos, the sad thing is that I didn't want to take breaks from those take-ons every now and then. Yeah, now you know why I don't want to do those take-ons. I know for a fact some people are going to say they want to request me to do more, but I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to do any more. Plus, even if I did that, I would probably get myself more stressed out than what could have been, though. Even with all that said, however, I don't think I've ever been this formal about my channel any further, though. This was kind of a bitch to make for me because I don't like disappointing my audience when I don't want to do something I don't want to do anymore. But that's part of the reason why I want to do these videos to begin with, to get my word out there. I'm not going to say that you can't tell me how things are going, but if anything, if I'm not on the internet or anything like that, that's partially because I'm either taking a break from YouTube or if I'm doing something else or anything like that. Though if I'm really being honest, though, I have to come out and say it. I don't like disappointing my audience when I want to do something, though. I will say, though, for the most part, I will keep you guys updated if I ever do a community post. But other than that, I really can't say enough of what I haven't said already, though. If I ever do some other videos and the like, I'll have you guys posted on that. But other than that, I need to focus on my mental health and everything. And what's more, it's almost the holidays. Maybe I'll post a card and saying happy holidays to everyone on my community tab, along with me dressed up as an elf and everything. But yeah, that's really what I have to say in its own favor. I am very thankful for everyone supporting my channel, and hopefully when I come back in 2025, which will be a month from now, well, almost a month from now, but still, I don't want anyone thinking that I'm just doing this because of whatever. I want to do this because I want to see how you guys are doing and everything else, though. I really need the rest, guys. I mean, granted, I do still appreciate what I have done so far for you guys, but even with all that said, however, I'm still grateful for a lot of things that have been going on so far, though. But with all that said, however, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for all the support, and as always, stay Flamingo-tastic, and see you all in 2025. See you around.